Hello, this is my 3.29 Mirage League Lightning Arrow character overview. Again, I made a similar one of this in 3.25 for Settlers for my Flicker Strike character. Not a build guide, more of just a, overview of what I've accomplished this league. It's getting towards the end of Mirage League now, I think, with just a few days left. And I played this league off and on for most of the time, but I have taken, multiple week breaks throughout the time. Just kind of playing just because I didn't really think there was any other games that were worth playing at this time, so excited for the next league, not sure what I'll play, but just gonna go over the gear. First we have this Lothwind bow. I think this is Settler's Shop mirror bow. I actually dropped my first mirror of the league, and the very first thing I mirrored on this character was this bow. Makes a lot of sense. You're playing Lightning Arrow, most of the damage comes from the bow. So having a strong bow is pretty good. I think there is a better bow that was made like shortly after this one was made that has a higher divine crit chance. I don't really think it matters that much because with Headhunter and all the buffs, you kind of don't really even notice it, but I do think that there is a slightly better bow that's just divine a little bit better. Helmet, we have another mirrored item. This character is like half / maybe more than half rarity focused, but we have triple synth helmet here. It's my aura setup. Just helps get chaos res, more rarity. It's all divine to nearly perfect from, I think this is an Echo Shop mirror. This just has our aura setup of haste, hatred, dirty elements, and awaken and enlighten. Oh yeah, and in the bow we have our our support kind of mana forged arrows link setup. We have mana forged arrows, sniper's mark with cast line crit. This is how it triggers from Red Imbue. Level 1 frenzy because the damage doesn't really matter, rather just spend less mana. Summon lightning golem. Costs a lot of mana. Summon this. It's very slightly less than what I have total, so it won't always be up. But it is kind of cool when it's there, just more damage. The mana regen's kind of nice. More attack speed, whatever. Power charge, how we generate power charges. And then steel skin. Ideally you would want this on like an what's that? The auto gem setup, like another link, but I kind of was running out of links just to make everything fit. So I have it here that it'll trigger on cast on crit. It's up most of the time, and this is how we deal with general bleed. So we got the bow and the helmet. We have a quiver. This is a Settler Shop quiver for sure. I think it's divine to perfect. Don't think it could be any better. It's even cool because it has the memory strand still on it from the final step when they were creating it. Pretty much best in slot. Can't really think of anything that could be better unless you had like 4 implicits like you had the original copy, which I obviously don't. Necklace. There are different people running different versions of this. There's like a rarity focus one, which is a simplex one with crit multi and then 2 rarity rolls, both positive. Very expensive. I think multiple mirrors throughout most of the league, but I kind of didn't like it, especially as rarity fell off throughout the league as Headhunter became worthless, and I was getting a lot of like Squires and Beanos rather than Mage Bloods throughout the league, though I did find 3 Mage Bloods overall just from all the rarity I have. So I went with this one instead. This one took a while to make. It's two of the Shaper mods for extra cold and lightning, and then Essence spam for crit multi. Literally just Awaken Orb, slammed us together, just to get the focus damage with both influences, and then I just Essence spam until it hit. It's kind of expensive, but I think I hit it for like 300 divines or something, I don't know. First ring, we have this ring mirrored from Echo Shop, I want to say, not sure. Pretty much can't really think of anything that could be better for it. Really helps with the mana costs, and again, more rarity chaos res that we need, life, crit multi, blah blah blah, max strength charges. Other rig, we have a double corrupted Nimbus. The stats on the Nimbus itself don't really matter too much. Mainly this is how we deal with poison. Can't be poisoned. Hatred effect's always nice because more than half of our damage is, or I guess more than a third of our damage is cold damage, but it is more cold damage than fire and lightning individually. Initially I had to use like something just like this to fit the decks, to be exactly 212, which is the requirement of the bow. But as I fixed the gear more, then the dex requirement didn't matter, so I could use any amulet. So even though this one isn't perfect dex, but near perfect projectile, it kind of doesn't matter too much. In the chest piece, we have 30 quality. This isn't something I mirrored. As you can see, it's not mirrored. I actually created this, or made it myself, I guess. The base was already done. Like, the fracture was just something that I bought from someone who like tried to craft something like this and just either gave up or something. I don't know. The Eldritch and Searing Exarch implicits are a little bit different, so I kind of just bought it for, I don't remember how much. Not that much, honestly. And then I just finished it with Eldritch Currency, doing the suffixes and prefixes. Divined it up, linked it, light socketed, blah blah blah. Fixed the implicits. This is how we deal with reflect from the implicit of damage from your hits cannot be reflected. Otherwise you need some weird like Watcher's Eye to fix that issue. So this is kind of how we deal with reflect maps. We have these gloves. Made them myself. Really annoying. I don't think I have any more of the failed attempts, but trying to get 30 quality with the Temple mod or the Fractured Cold and Damage with Chill is really annoying. I think I did it in like 12 attempts, but kind of expensive every time when you fail in a base like that. But it is pretty easy to, if you miss the Fracture, you just non-native recombinate it over to the other base and then try it again. Just more of just buying the bases over and over again. Pretty annoying. But yeah, it's got Abyssal Socket, attack speed, so I just Abyssal Fossiled till it was a suffix, got the suffix alone, and then lock suffixes, reforged speed until the suffixes were done. And then I finished it with Eldritch Currency once I got the T1 life and an open prefix. And then Veiled Exalted Orb onto the chosen projectile speed, projectile damage. And then crafted on the Fizz to Fire. This is how we get full 100% Elite conversion. So there are other gloves that have like the opposite, where they choose the chosen or the veiled mod for conversion, but we need it 25% only, because it's 25 here, 25 from the implicit from Eldritch, and then Lightning Arrow as its own has Fizz automatically converted, 50% Fizz, 50% Fizz converted to Lightning already, so that's 100%, so we don't have to deal with Fizz Reflect or anything. In this setup we have Frostblink with level 1 life tap. I haven't seen too many people doing this. It is just kind of nice when we don't have that much mana and not really like a good amount of minus channeling costs. So level 1 life taps that cost life, and then cooldown recovery support. And then we have Herald of Purity, just on its own, not linked to anything. And then we have our Abyss Socket. This is one that I mirrored from the Echo Shop. Pretty much best in slot. Not much else we can do here. The only thing is we have two Abyssal Jewels. One of them needs to get phasing just for quality of life, so this one didn't, so then I had to make the other one, which you'll see in a second. Oh yeah, and then in our body armor we have our Lightning Arrow setup. We have Lightning Arrow imbued with Mirage Archer. Other people are playing other ones for more damage. I just think Mirage Archer is such nice quality of life when you can just kind of run around, and if you do enough base damage you'll kill most things just while running. Link to Greater Fork, Trinity, Invert the Rules, LA damage with attacks, and Inspiration. Our belt, we have a Foulborn Headhunter with Culling Strike. That's how we get Cull in the build. Bought this one for like a mirror, divined it up, kill, reasonable. Mainly, again, before I needed the dex to hit exactly 212, so I went for as high dex as possible. This is what I came up with. I did buy another one previously in the league and tried to double corrupt it and a poof, so that was really shitty, but it's whatever. Kind of don't really need it. Life is kind of low, so I actually really don't mind the implicit for 40 life, but yeah, obviously something like attack speed, rarity, Ellie Res, something as the implicit would be even cooler, but it's whatever. Boots, made these myself as well. Just fractured the Abyssal Socket, and then did the exact same thing with Eldritch Currency to finish the suffixes, and then Eldritch Currency on the prefixes, and then did the implicits for action speed and Fizz is cold. Pretty cool. Here's our Abyssal Jewel. This one I made myself. The implicits could be slightly better, but I kind of hate doing Vivid Vulture spam, being in Vulture Prison. So So I just went for any 3 implicits that were valuable. Still not crit capped without headhunter buffs, but all of these are helpful. Movement speed's nice, extra life can't hurt. And then this was quite painful to make, just endless spam of fossils and harvest attempts. Could be slightly better if the fizz as attacks was any other element, but still usable because fizz is converted, so not the greatest final suffix, but too good to roll over, so I kept it. And in here we have Precision linked to Arrogance, that's why we're reserving life, as you can see on the character. Clarity and Vitality, these aren't really required, and there aren't many people even using this. There just really isn't a strong amount of mana regen other than Leech, which you'll see on the tree. And then Vitality, there's really no life regen at all in the build. There's no Life Flask, there's no life in the tree. So this is kind of good, just if you do so many maps with so many mods, probably run into a lot of can't regen maps, so not always required, can turn it off if I feel like it. Otherwise we'd have like 4.3k life, but since all of these are linked together, they reserve life instead. And I feel like this plus the energy shield is a pretty high base amount to be using while mapping. Flasks are pretty standard for Lightning Arrow here, Ruby or Dying Sun. Cinder Swallow with the % ES recovery on kill, with Ignited giving Malediction, Genesis. Higher quality Quicksilver with Rarity, could change this to whatever. We aren't stun immune, so I could put stun on this as the suffix, or just more move speed. You don't really need even more move speed with this build. It's like 300%, I think, just while running around without Headhunter buffs. And then a Line of the Prophet. Could change this out for something like Ulras, or, I don't know, really anything else. Just kind of fun to play around. I like seeing all the cards popping above my character's head. So that's the gear. Tooltip DPS are at 1.5 million. Looking at the character itself, our ascendancy choices, we have Endless Munitions, Far Shot, and Gathering Winds. This one's the only one super required, and I guess this one, so you could drop Far Shot and go Chain. And then I also have the Oshabi Ascendancy for more rage. Just feels cool, just more damage. But a lot of the content I do, even when I was doing a Harvest Ritual Breach, you don't really need that much damage. I think this character POBs at like 24 million with Lightning Arrow on PoE Ninja, but even if you took this out, you could switch to Ricochet and you'd still be fine doing all the content that Deadeyes are good at, basically. Character itself, we have Corrupted Blood, Thread of Hope. Yep. A bunch of tattoos throughout the entire character for projectile speed. A little bit for stun avoidance. Like I said, it is one of the downsides of the build is we are only 50% stun avoidance, but I mean, nothing really gets close to you anyway, so you don't really get stunned. And then we have the aura set up. Up here we have a Foulborn and Natural Instinct, so this gives all the passive, all the notables that I don't have in the radius. This was like a mirror at the time when I bought it. So quite expensive, but pretty nice to help get, you know, all these extra charges and recovery, life on kill, accuracy. We take the Leech Wheel here with 5% of Leech. This is most of the recovery of the build, plus that random amount we get from Vitality and Clarity, but it is pretty noticeable when you hit really hard. You're leeching a lot from hitting so many things. 1% attack damage, leech is life and mana. It's the main way we sustain to being able to keep shooting more arrows. Here we have our first 12 passive Cluster Jewel. This one I made myself. Again, went for implicits that were nice. Could be slightly better, like projectile speed, fizz with bows. Could be a little bit better for like crit multi or something like that. Kind of interesting how I made this one. I converted the cluster using Refracting Fog over to elemental damage, and then reforged Caster, because this tag here for attack and cast speed is the only caster mod on that cluster, so you guaranteed to get 1, 2, or 3% per reforge with Harvest. So eventually I just kind of hit this, and then it took a long time, multiple days of reforging, and then I think I exalted on attributes or something, I forget. But the main thing I was looking for is obviously the passive skills 35% attack speed, and then this was the main way I get my attribute requirement, so either int or attribute was Basic required, and then any good prefix that would be usable in the cluster, so life is pretty good. Took that. I'd also take like 4% damage. But either way, still really nice. Going down a little bit here, we have Rune Graft of the Warp. Here's how we hit our spell suppression. Oh, right. Up here we have one of our three. They're all the same, just fractured a little differently. Life and triple crit multi-jewels. So we got 1, 2, 3, all the same stats, all divine to the maximum amount. And we have our Watcher's Eye here. Could be very slightly better, mainly on the cold damage is hatred, and if it was like 6% life, that'd be kind of cool. I divined this, took like, I don't know, I spent multiple hundreds of divines on this. This is the best one I got, so pretty unlucky overall, but I mean, there's such a large range of the crit chance roll. So I hit 1.8, too good to roll over. It is the main way we get base crit chance in the character. So having this crit chance be really high is like significantly more important than the other two rolls. We have our Lethal Pride. There is a more common one. I forget the number that people are using over this one. I like this one a lot more, even though the other one is more damage because it has more double damage rolls. It helps give us a source of Intimidate from this one here. It also gives us Endurance Charge generation here, otherwise we wouldn't have any. The rest of it is just double damage and beneficial things, crit chance or damage reduction from crits, fizz damage, fully converted, so it helps us, percent life, stun duration, not great, but there's not many really ones that are all helpful. So I think this is the best one, or maybe top 2 to go with for this build. Fire res, double damage. Pathing down further on the tree, just more LE damage, inversion, with a pretty high chance to hit inverted elemental resistances with invert the rules, and this lethality. If I had more free points, I'd put them here for crit multi and crit chance. Long shot, and then final cluster down here is this one that I made from the Echo Shop. More of the damage cluster, it helps me hit my LA res compared to the one that I made that I showed you earlier. But yeah, these are probably perfect implicits that I would go for. Alright, that's about it for the whole character. Played around a lot with the character. Total cost, probably something around 15-ish mirrors, if you count the things that I bought for a mirror. Straight up or mirrored items. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Watcher's Eye's probably about a mirror. 7, 8 for the cluster. This one's about a mirror, maybe slightly less just because it's not as perfect. 9. So I'd say I'd estimate somewhere between 10 to 15 mirrors. I'm not really sure. But definitely the most expensive character I've ever put together. This one could also be worth a mirror. I mean, it may be a little bit less. It is perfectly divine, which is kind of annoying to get on this. But so yeah, I'd say 10 to 15 mirrors is the ballpark for the price of the whole build. Did save some money by crafting, the body armor, the gloves, and boots, rather than mirroring them, which I think would be a waste. But pretty fun build. Just like most builds, or most bow builds, it's not tanky at all. It still dies to anything that looks at it, and the entire build's identity defensively is headhunter stacks, so if we're doing any content that doesn't have rare mobs, pretty miserable, like Blight. Really hard to do Titanic Blight. You just don't do enough damage, don't kill them fast enough. Proximity shield, can't really get through it. Don't really get any mods from unique monsters, so struggles with that, struggles with anything, not too great on bossing. I mean, it can kill bosses, but it's not good at things, like, not good at bosses. So the main things I stuck to this week were Harvest, Ritual probably made me more than half my money, a little bit from Settlers, and a decent amount from Breach, but probably made multiple layers just from Ritual and selling the Omens, the Perfect Forest Tigers, random things in there, synth bases, stuff like that. Very fun build. First time I ever played a character that off-screens. Usually I play characters that are way tankier than this or slower. I usually don't even play Headhunter builds at all, usually for Mage Blood. I did try to switch this earlier in the league to one of the new Screams of the Desiccated belts for like acceleration or echoing. Didn't really feel good. I think the build just relies really hard on Headhunter, so not having Headhunter feels pretty bad actually. Even if you're running faster and attacking faster, you kind of just flop even faster without a Headhunter. So even if PoB damage even on PoB the damage might be higher with like an echoing belt. It just feels worse though in my experience. So, but that's all. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. Not an expert on this build, or at least less. I know less about Lightning Arrow in general compared to like the Flicker build that I made. But if you have any questions or you're looking for inspiration for a future league and you come across this video, please let me know in the comments. And thanks.